song. We're so happy to have you. We've had a lot of different people on the show. We've had Murs, we've had Open Mike Eagle, we've had journalists, we've had DJs, and we think you're going to do great at this game. We're really happy. How are you feeling about this?
I feel like if I get some shit wrong, people gonna like cancel me or something.
Well, but you're all about being canceled. That's what your last song was about.
So I guess I have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you're leading into it. All right, so if you're ready, let's dive into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, our first round is called The Choice is Yours. This is multiple choice questions. They're worth 5 points each. Some contestants like to lean on the chat, but I will tell you sometimes the chat doesn't know as much as you wish that they knew. So at your own discretion.
Okay.
Just saying. Okay, our first question is, before becoming Instagram's #1 DJ, D-Nice cut his teeth as a member of this crew. Was it Boogie Down Productions, Def Squad, Juice Crew, or Digital Underground? What was the crew that D-Nice first got into the rap game with?
I think it was BDP, right?
I can't answer that firmly, but if that's going to be your answer, which I think you sound pretty confident about, I can confirm it was BDP.
That's right.
Yes.
I remember seeing him in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. That's how old I am.
Have you been watching his live streams as a DJ?
He actually saved the night last week. He did a slow jam and he did a deep dive into Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder, if you know me, you know Stevie Wonder is like my #1 fave. Like #1. So he did like a deep dive Stevie Wonder, and I was like very drunk that night, and it was just, he saved my life that night for sure.
A DJ saved my life, and it's been happening a lot. Shout out to everybody watching this, because there's literally 30 DJs that you could be watching right now. There's no shortage of live
there's no shortage.
So, we're hoping we can do a little something to stand out a bit, by not being DJs here. But, we appreciate you guys watching something a little different. There's room for everybody. It's all good. All right, we're going to move on to our second question of the night. The second question. Talib Kweli has released full-on collaborative albums with all of these artists except for one of them. Is it Mos Def, Jean Grae, Styles P, or Madlib? Who has Talib Kweli not put out a full collaborative album with?
Damn, he definitely put out one with Mos, Ivy, Black Star, Styles. I remember that coming out like in the not too pass. Gray, they were label mates. And Madlib, that makes sense because it'd be like a producer rapper thing. As much as I want to say, I'm just saying, if I get it wrong, I'm canceled. It don't fucking matter. I'm gonna say he did not do a collaborative full-on album with Jean Grae.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the answer reveal here, so we can actually hear the answers here. You said it first. Obviously, most people first got to know Kweli through Black Star, so he has worked with Mos Def, obviously.
Right.
Madlib, he did a project with the Liberation album, which was a free album.
Yeah, do it.
He did the Styles P, so the only one he didn't was Jean Grae. They were label mates. Deductive reasoning. You walked us through the process there, so that was good.
Somebody in here needs to know.
Somebody needs to know. You are no stranger to collaborative projects and albums. You have your group that you've been working with. Can you tell us a little bit about the group and what you've been working on?
Big Silky is the new group. It's actually not a new group. It is just an offshoot of the Chicks group that we put together in 2014.
Yeah.
So, we were down to like 2 members, rest in peace, Henny B. And we just decided, Angel and I, to just continue to work, her and I, but with the sentiment of what Rapper Chicks was about. So Big Silky is the duo, the offshoot of Rapper Chicks. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. We just released the 7-track EP on the 10th of April. And it's on my Bandcamp, song1.bandcamp.com now.
Check it out.
Like it's live on Apple Music, but we're gonna do like a whole promo thing when it's like on all the DSPs. But if you want to like support and purchase it, it's definitely on my Bandcamp. Shout out to Optics. Me and Optics put out a project. The first project we did in 2020 is called Before They Stop Us. It was 1 new song and 3 songs from the vault that we had been holding on to and thought that they were perfect for now. And we put that out on March 20th. They waived their fees and it ended up being a really dope thing. So, yeah.
Amazing. Yes. All right. We're going to move on to the next question in our round. This question is, in 2018, this artist became the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize. Was it Common, Jay-Z, Nas, or Kendrick Lamar?
That's easy. D, Kendrick Lamar. That was a huge deal because a Pulitzer is a huge literary achievement. And it's not to be taken lightly. And I loved it that the literary world, some people that were like a little touch-up for everything, they fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Is a fucking wordsmith and a scholar of this shit, and well deserved.
Absolutely. Whenever somebody can be recognized for their efforts and also get under the skin of some, tightly wound
Just
idiots.
the old guard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's dismantling the institutions. Exactly. We're all about that.
All about that one, you know.
but also while recognizing and honoring the institutions, because we're not shitting on Pulitzers, but just open up the doors a little bit. Like there's enough Pulitzer in there for other people. Come on,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're moving on to the final question in our first round, Sam.
Okay.
This rapper was the first solo female artist to have an album go platinum. Was it Lil Kim, Queen Latifah, the BRAT, or Foxy Brown? Who's the first to have an album go platinum?
The album, not the single.
Not a single.
Boy, okay. I'm going to say Lil Kim. I feel like, because all respect due to Queen Latifah, I think she had big singles. Not sure she had the whole album.
Different eras, too.
I'm from Chicago. Funkdafied was huge. She had a couple other singles. Not sure that whole album went platinum. I'm definitely going to go with Lil Kim because I feel like the whole hype surrounding Biggie and then the whole the hardcore poster, I think boosted sales quite a bit.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking it's Lil Kim.
She says Lil Kim. The answer was the BRAT.
I got the female rapper one wrong.
Hey, listen, I mean, we had to throw one in there, but it was a good guess. But yes, Funkdafied did go platinum before Lil Kim. I believe Lil Kim went platinum as well. But yeah, the BRAT was the first. Was she like the shit in Chicago coming up? Like, was she revered as like a hometown hero?
It was funny. I got a funny story about that. Like, I was a little kid and we went to the Regal Theater, which was like a hugely important historical venue in Chicago on the South Side. A lot of people got their careers like catapulted there. And I went to see Criss Cross, and Jermaine B. was there, and he was like, "Oh, any female rappers in the crowd?" And the BRAT came up and did this rap and got signed at that show. Now, I found out that although she did get signed in that way, they were on a promotional tour where like they would reenact that every night.
So it was almost like a American Idol almost.
BRAT, and she would get signed on the spot. But the show I saw in Chicago, something tell me that might have been the first time that happened because she's from the Chi.
Right.
And she got signed on the spot, and like maybe 6 months later, Funkdafied came out. Like, it was a real thing. It was a real thing.
That's crazy. They could never pull that off today in social media land. Like,
too much internet.
Yeah. There's too much internet. It was a beautiful time before the internet, but yeah, wow, that's crazy. You said it was at the Regal Theater. You said
the Regal Theater in Chicago. That's when I saw that whole thing go down.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like a rebroadcast of what.
We'll say that it was the first time. We'll say it was the first time.
That might have been the first female like I saw like maybe get on stage and rock a huge crowd like that. I mean, I wasn't going to a ton of hip hop shows as a child.
Sure.
But like, but I remember that show distinctly. We were there to see Criss Cross and like ended up seeing like a young BRAT get signed. So.
That's amazing.
Now,
I only have one story. What'd you say?
I said now I feel real bad for not knowing that that album went
Hey, it's
platinum.
okay. We're here to learn. You know, it's a great
Yeah.
story too. I only have a story about the Regal Theater when I was a kid. It was just a Regal Cinema, and I saw She's All That in the movie theater.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
not as
Same.
impressive. Not really a great story, but hey, you know, just keeping it moving. All right, we're moving on to our second round, and the second round is called Picasso Baby. These now are worth 10 points. So what it is that we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little piece of an album cover, and you have to ID what the album is by the little piece that you see. So this is all about familiarity with album covers. How you feeling about this?
I feel like I'm gonna get canceled again, but let's see what's going on. What's happening?
I mean, I'm presenting it like it's an option. If you don't have an option, we have to do this. The game has already been set. But I want to make sure that, you know, you're not freaking out too much here. All right, so our first one, you have to identify what album cover is this. Is it Talib Kweli, The Beautiful Struggle, De La Soul, The Grande, The Far Side, Plain Rap, or A Tribe Called Quest, We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service?
That's D.
She says D, little hesitation. And she's right. That is the last The Tribe Called Quest album.
Great album. Also, no, I'm not gonna be petty, but definitely it was D.
So you were a big fan of that record.
Yeah, great effort. Great, you know, salute. Rest in peace to Fight God, of course. You know.
I don't think there's any group in any genre really that could take so long between albums and come out that strong. Like that was way better than that record needed to be. You know, like it could.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You know what? That album probably hit so weird and great right now. I might have to run that. You know.
Yeah, because it was such a dark time too, because it came out right around the election. So like it was sort of like it was a very political album and also felt like very prescient, but also like kind of, you know, like I would say darker than any Tribe album that I had ever heard, you know, like
albums have been known to get a little dark. If you know, you know. But yeah, this one was definitely, there was a heaviness to it, and also I think it's, you know, when your friend dies, it's not.
Absolutely. All right, we're moving on to the next question. What album cover is this? Is it Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet, E40, The Hall of Game, LP, I'll Sleep When You're Dead, or Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor? You seem like you already know.
It's D, because I have this album too, and I remember like Lupe is like floating amongst the things. Yeah.
Yes. It's honestly, by 2020 standards, looking at it, it's maybe not the best album cover. Like it's a little like I'm not judging the album itself, and no disrespect to Lupe, but like looking at it now, it's like
futuristic. It's a lot of future going on.
Yes, future. The problem with futuristic is that it doesn't always age well when you get to the future. You know, it's like, that's what they thought. Lupe is another Chicago, homegrown Chicago MC. Did you have any, like, where were you at in your life when he was starting to pop? And do you have any, like, you know?
That started popping. I mean, I didn't pop as big as Lupe, much respect, but 2006, I believe, is when that album dropped, and that was when my Rhyme Shayers debut dropped.
Death the Frequent Flyer. Yep.
I was touring artists at the time, and it was like me and Lupe, and maybe I feel like maybe some people out there have heard of the rapper Diverse.
Yeah.
Really super talented guy. I think it was like us three in 2006 that was touring nationally and getting those kind of looks. So there are a lot of articles. You can even go back and Google it. You just put Lupe Fiasco Song 1 in a Google search. There's like hella shit. So I met him a couple times, opened for him a couple times. And I definitely look at that year where Lupe started to pop as a year where I started to find some national attention too. And it was great to look at him because I could see like, damn, you could take it even this far, you know?
Right. Yeah, that was an incredible era, and I remember that too. I remember all those. I remember getting your record, getting his record. We might have to go into a side tangent of this because I've actually thought about this for a minute. We can get into this after. Okay. Where is Diverse now? Like what is he still making music, or do you know? Or
he actually has been doing producing and doing. I know he did some rock stuff on the low. But that was actually, I haven't talked to Diverse in maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
But, you know, I go check in on him in Chicago, like, and go, like, sit with him, listen to new stuff. Like, we had a couple songs that we were going to do together. It just never came to fruition. He's, like, a real mad scientist type of dude. quite a perfectionist, and he self-proclaimed at that. So it takes him a little longer to put out stuff, but you know, he's still active. The releases, you know, actually releasing stuff to the public, that's not as frequent. But yeah, he's
Right.
definitely active making music.
Yeah, his album was so dope. I still play back a lot of those. He had like the ill RJD2 beats on
Yeah.
there, and
he was one of the first people in Chicago, like in the indie, like underground, who was getting like bigger name rappers on his stuff. And I remember people being mad about that shit. Oh, how you gonna go get Mos Def? It's like, why wouldn't you if you had the opportunity?
if you can get Mos Def, get Mos Def.
It's like, no, because it's too not indie. It's like, whatever, man. Like, I love that whole record.
Now, you are an artist who's been super prolific, I think, compared to a lot of your peers, certainly compared to a diverse, certainly compared to a Lupe Fiasco. I mean, you've put out a ton of projects, albums. Like, have you always felt that way, or was there a certain point where you like, is it a conscious decision to put out like a lot? Because a lot of artists, like, they kind of like to hug the material more. So when I see somebody who has a really deep discography, it makes me think either you just naturally do that, or you're kind of combating that inner, because, you know, like, artists have like an inner critic a lot of times where it's like, oh, like maybe. So how does that process work for you?
I think before before I signed like my first deal, I was really just into like focusing on one thing. I released The Death of Frequent Flyer, and then after that, it was just a lot of like mixtapes, tour tapes.
Yeah.
And then around 2010, I had a friend tell me like, look, if the bigger release ain't coming out, you can still put out smaller releases. This was right when like Napster failed, but like
Right.
you could start putting stuff out on like Bandcamp and stuff like that, and it would just be like, I did the Woman at Work series, and that just kind of like snowballed into other things. And I was doing the Hug Life stuff, and still wasn't putting out more than like maybe one, maybe two projects a year. I think in the past, I would say 2 years, I realized I should not be scared to put out music. I'm fucking dope.
Right.
You know? If I don't get 1 million sales, who the fuck cares? Especially considering now, look how even and leveled out the playing field is getting. Like, shout out to Open Mike. This time is going to really teach people how independent you really are. I've always been fiercely independent. If you know anything about my career, I've had some issues in my career with, you know, just creative differences, label shit. Nothing that was like uncommon for a lot of artists.
Sure.
But I think taking my shit in my own hands, and also working with fucking amazing artists, amazing producers, amazing musicians, and other rappers, and being able to be like, no, I know how to make music. I know how to make music. I know how to put it out, and I know where to put it.
Amazing.
So if I'm not getting, you know, those huge numbers, I can still eat. Like, I can still wake up and make music, and the fan base that I've cultivated, they're fed. And that shit makes me happy, because it's like making a living off rap music is like one of the hardest fucking things you can do statistically. Yeah. Blessed to be able to do this. And I think having that realization, and then hollering at Optics, what's up, Optics? What's up?
What up, Optics?
Alex, I see y'all in here. But like, Optics was what's up the beats. He's like, I'm ready. And then I hopped on a plane and we did a bunch of shit. And it was like, okay, now I'm not beholden by this pressure of thinking that maybe another entity or company is going to put out my music. I'm putting my shit out. So it's my deadline and it's my process. And I just find people who want to work and can be efficient doing it. And me and Optics have been saving so much, so many songs. So it was like, when I was ready to green light stuff and really finish stuff, I think he was like, oh shit, let's go. So, you know, it's been on since then. And I put out 6 projects, not 6 full projects, but I put out like 4 small projects, 1 album and 2 singles since last year. And that, you know, that's more than, you know, previous years. But I'm working at a pace shit either. So this is kind of just what the pace is now.
That's amazing. That's awesome. All right, we're going to move on to our final question in this round of our Picasso Baby round. What album cover is this? Is it Diggable Planets, Blowout Comb, AC Alone,
No.
All Balls Don't Bounce, Q-Tip, The Renaissance, or Fugees, Blunted on Reality?
Okay. It's not Diggable Planets. Diggable Planets had the blue with the pink and all that.
Okay.
It's not Q-Tip to Renaissance. I feel like that might have been a little bit more jaggedy and like he was on the cover. I don't know if it was that food. I think it's B, AC Alone, All Balls Don't Bounce.
She's saying it's AC Alone, and she's absolutely correct.
Wow.
Were you up on a lot of the West Coast underground stuff coming up? Because I know you have a pretty deep connection to Hyro, which is, you know, like, but like, were they on your radar? Was like West Coast independent stuff on your radar in Chicago, or was that later?
I mean, absolutely. Like we were, I mean, there was a lot of gangster stuff. I mean, as a kid, it was like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and stuff. But as I started getting into rapping, you know, you can't get into indie rapping or even be a rapper without coming across like Living Legends and Hyro, Freestyle Fellowship. I mean, AC Alone. If you are like any kind of a technical rapper, you wanna hear what he had going on. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as I think I was on the radar of Casual from Hieroglyphics because he's a bit of an A&R himself. And I think he was just searching the internet one day and found some of my stuff, and the rest is history. I mean, that's the big homie. He's taught me a lot, and yeah, that's why I have like a good connection with the West Coast. And I did live out there for a couple years.
Okay.
At the turn of the decade.
The turn of the decade, which the turn of the decade, not the turn of the century, but yeah. Casual just he's got an album that either just dropped or is dropping, and he was previewing it the other night, and it sounds crazy though.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been previewing it on live. I've been kind of like DMing him about it, like, yo, like you about to drop the bomb on him. So that's I'm excited to hear that because he's one of the. I mean, technically, if you're talking about just a technician, like he's just one of the illest, and you know, got all like boxes checked. You know,
he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to our third round of the night. We had a little intermission there due to technical difficulties. This is called Digging in the Crates. These are all sample-related questions. So what it is I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a question, and I'll play you a sample, and you have to answer the question about the sample that you hear. And if you guys are tuning in, and if you have questions for Sam, drop them in that question box. We'll get to it later if we have some time. So our first question is, Jay-Z sampled this musical for his 1998 hit, Hard Knock Life. Is it Cats, Rent, Annie, or Oliver?
See, Annie.
She says Annie. Absolutely correct.
That was when I first really started being a Jay-Z fan because it was like Biggie Town over here around my area.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, people kind of thought Jay-Z was like, all right, you know, like now he's obviously a GOAT.
Right.
But for Hard Knock Life, I wasn't so convinced. When I heard that, it was just, we could get into a whole conversation about like using a musical as like a very hard street anthem. I mean, that position was like mind blowing. And yeah, hard song still slaps to this day.
Kind of crazy if you think about that, like decades later, Hamilton became like a hip hop Broadway musical too. And like he kind of like planted the seed on that. Like, I don't think there was a direct influence, but it still is kind of interesting to see that that was like maybe one of the first times that there was that cross pollination between hip hop
and hip hop, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of posses on Broadway. We know about that. There were mad posses on Broadway, but you know,
exactly.
See what I did there? Yes, sir. All right, moving on to our next question in the round. Brenda Russell's "A Little Bit of Love" was most popularly sampled by. I'm going to play you that sample now. Was it Ja Rule, Big Pun, Cypress Hill, or Mace?
Big Pun.
She says it is Big Pun, and guess what? She is absolutely correct. Hey, all right, doing pretty well so far. I mean,
can I tell a fun fact?
Of course.
On the Big
Is there a world where I would have said, don't tell a fun fact? We want fun facts.
Big Pun, that song, Still Not a Player. That is the subject of a skit on the new Big Silky Volume 1 out now on some
Plug.
Yeah, it's at the end of a song called it's at this end of a song called Baby Shower. And I tell a story about actually getting handcuffed and thrown in a cop car and taunting the officer because he was not gonna like let us reference that song, Still Not a Player. Just listen to the album. It's good. It's a good story.
I'm even more confused than I was before, but now you've said a good, like, it's a good preview. It's like, well, now I got to hear what the hell she's talking about. Baby Shower, Cop Car, Big Pun, Psalm 1.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Mad Lib.
I know, right? It's like, what time does the train get there?
Yeah, exactly. If they both leave at this time. All right, we're moving on to our final question in this round, song. The Delphonics' Ready or Not is the sample to which Missy Elliott song? So here is the sample. Is it Sock It To Me, All in My Grill, Get Your Freak On, or Hot Boys?
Dun, 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 dun. I want to say A, Sock It To Me.
She says Sock It To Me. And that is correct.
What you know about
that? Sam, killing it. I mean, you said you were afraid about being canceled. So far, you've only gotten one wrong. So
I'm back on it, though, because I got this female rapper question right. So
Yep. You redeemed yourself. We were about to, legally, we could strip you of your title as female rapper, which I know would be painful because if I've learned anything over the years, it's that women who rap love to be categorized only as female rappers.
Only as a FOXY. Please just only call me FOXY.
FOXY. You don't even know where Jay-Z? That's not even the same genre. It's not. No. All right, so we have reached our final round. So now this is where things switch up a little bit. I'm going to give you the option of 3 different categories. You get to pick which category you want, and you will get 90 seconds to answer 5 questions.
Oh.
So, our categories are, for tonight, legal rap side hustles. The second category is chemistry. And the third, because you acknowledged this and we did a little research on you, the third is hieroglyphics. So you get to pick which category you would like to try to answer 5 questions in 90 seconds for.
Fuck it, let's do chemistry. Let's rock with the science.
Just doing chemistry. And for those who don't know, before you became a FOXY and only a FOXY, you were a chemist, correct?
Yes. Yep, I worked as a food chemist in Chicago Heights, suburb of Chicago, for just under a year, so just under 2 years before I signed my first deal. Yes, got a degree in chemistry from the University of Illinois.
So you could say that you dropped science in order to start dropping science.
Stay in the lab, drop science, all that.
Jokes I'm sure you've never heard before in your life. All right, so I have OC's time's up here, timed to 90 seconds. So when time is up on the OC, your time is up.
Okay.
If you don't know the answer, you can pass and we could get back to it. You can also rely on the crowd. Optics, shut up. I don't know what you're saying, Sean, to, but it was undeserved. I'm killing it, Chris. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. The category is chemistry. You have 90 seconds starting now for 10 points. In 2005, this producer teamed with bootcamp click rapper Buckshot to release an album called Chemistry.
Ninth Wonder.
That is correct. All right. Minnesota group Ill Chemistry consists of vocalist Desdemona and this beatboxer.
Carnage the Executioner.
That is correct. For 30 points, The Roots released this demo turned album prior to signing their first major label deal.
Do you want more?
This is before that. That is incorrect. We can come back to that if you don't know. All right. This rapper released a compilation of B-sides, remixes, and rarities called Iron and Niacin.
Called what?
Iron and Niacin.
Oof. Organics.
Well, organics is not correct. Somebody's chiming in on the last one. Now you're cheating, but that's fine. That's fine. We're going to move on to our final one. Chemical Calisthenics by Black Alicious was produced by this producer slash DJ.
Gift the Gab.
It was not Gift to Gab. He's the rapper. It was who produced it. All right, we'll go back to the first one that you missed. What was the name of the first Roots album before Do You Want More?
Is it the one with Silent Treatment on it?
It's before that. Silent Treatment was Do You Want More? Our time is up, Sam. Our time is up. All right, I'll reveal the answers to you. The first Roots album before Do You Want More was called Organics.
Organics. You know what? People were saying organic, and I was like, it ain't organic. Okay, yep, organic.
That one probably broke the rule of chemistry the most. I'll take a little bit of the L on that. It's hard to come up with 5 chemistry-related questions, but you probably know more. The rapper who released the album called Iron and Niacin was Blueprint.
Okay.
And Chemical Calisthenics by Black Alicious was produced by Cut Chemist, the DJ from Jurassic 5.
As soon as I did get it, I got it.
Right under the nose. It's all good. So I'm going to tally up your score. Let the people know you were talking about you have the album on Bandcamp. Let people know how they can follow you, how they can find you while I do this quick little mental math over here.
At Psalm1 is on all the platforms. PSALMONE on Facebook. It is Psalm1 Loves You. Psalm1lovesyou.com is my website. My Bandcamp is where you can support me like pretty much directly. Psalm1.bandcamp.com. I just released Big Silky Volume 1 with Andy Davenport. Before that, just released Before They Stop Us with Optics. My homie Rocky said represent PDX, of course, my first crew PDX. But yeah.
Amazing. So,
and I'm on Twitter.
Sam, you scored 120 points, which is a respectable score. We salute you, and you are a champion in our eyes.
Hey.
And you seem frozen now. Yeah, no, now you're back. Sam, one last question for you. Who would you like to challenge or see come on this show next? Who's somebody that you know, whether it's an artist or a producer or a journalist or anybody, who do you challenge to come onto the questions next?
Who do I challenge? Oh, let me see. You have Chewy, you had Merge, you had you're having Don Will, right?
Don Will is tomorrow. Good plug. Let me throw him up on the screen here. We're having Don Will on Friday, actually. We're gonna have him. We had Open Mike Eagle, we had J.E. from St. Louis, we had Mega Ran, we've had a bunch of people.
I think you should get Carnage on here.
Carnage would be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should reach out to Carnage. That'd be super dope.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to, it was great to reconnect with you. We'll say this is like the first real connect.
Yeah.
And now that we're all quarantined anyway, I look forward to hearing, more stuff. And maybe I'll be sending Optic some stuff or sending some, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So thank you so much again. We really appreciate your time. We had a great time. Hope you did too. And make sure you guys check out everything Someone's got on deck. She's super dope and definitely has a lot of music for you to listen to. So be well and peace.
Thanks. Peace.
Later.